My role is as a lead nurse for cancer here at the Bedford Hospital Primrose unit, which is our oncology department. Over the years we've had so much advancement in treatments that people are now living with cancer, and I don't think it has the same connotations as it used to do.
Initially we start with blood test and then we do biopsy. Once we confirm that it is a cancer, we see what type of cancer it is, and then we do the scans accordingly. The most important thing is that we tell them that they are not alone in this journey and there is a lot of help available.
My role is to provide a warm and welcoming environment for all of those that enter the Primrose unit. A lot of people are obviously understandably anxious when they first come in, and I think providing that sort of smile just puts them at ease. Sometimes I am a shoulder to cry on, if I'm honest with you. Often all they need is just that moment. They're having a bad day and so they just want a little cry, and they're allowed to have that because they're going through so much.
In the information support service we provide supportive listening. Some patients or loved ones might feel that it's easier to talk to us than the person directly involved. At the beginning, someone might feel that they have actually got too much information and they can't process it all. So my message to them would be that there is a lot of information and support available for them when they're ready to access it.
We have very site-specific clinical nurse specialists. So, for example, we have a lung cancer nurse specialist, and she will support the patients from the suspected point of cancer, from the GP into the hospital, and she'll support them through their diagnostic workup, and then she'll support them at diagnosis and onward through their treatment. So she is a constant through their journey.
A lot of our consultation is talking about their general well-being as well as specific side effects to the chemotherapy, and we get to learn a lot about our patients. And depending on what they tell us, we act as sort of a signposting service as well, so if they're in need of something we can sort of signpost them where to get it from, or we can also refer to psychology services.
We work directly with patients and their families and carers, offering one-to-one therapeutic work. That might be on an individual basis, but it might be with couples and families. We ask that our clinical nurse specialists work with us to think around picking up and noticing sort of the red flags for when someone might need a bit of extra support. Managing uncertainty, I'd say, is a big theme that I see across the pathway. What does my future hold? What's going to happen? What's treatment's going to be like? Am I still going to be able to go to work? All of those kind of unknowns. It's working with people to help them reconnect to what matters most.
Macmillan have information in different languages on the websites. We're also able to access face-to-face interpreters, and we can also use 24/7 telephone interpreters, and the same with BSL. If someone needs that and they let us know, we can arrange a BSL interpreter.
My role is to be an acute oncology nurse, so that's liaising between the acute side, if you come into hospital, and the side where you have your chemotherapy outpatients appointments. And it's to liaise between the two ends. People want to know what's happening. That is the biggest concern, I would say. Am I having a scan? Why am I here? Can my chemotherapy continue? Does my cancer specialist know that I'm here? And what are you going to do to help me get out of it?
Most of my job is actually when the patient comes into the unit and starts on their treatment. Some nurses see a patient beforehand and will give them a little bit of information about what their journey is going to be throughout chemotherapy or any kind of treatment. People get very anxious and worried about obviously what's going to happen, but everyone's treatment plan it's different. So, you know, it's hard to say that one person will have certain symptoms and another person won't.
I think lots of people come into chemotherapy thinking they're going to be tired, bedbound and being sick all the time. That's quite often sort of what people think when they think of cancer and think of treatment. Quite often that's not the case. Not everybody gets all the side effects. I think side effects is the biggest thing we get in our role, because obviously we're monitoring their treatment. Hair loss. Fatigue is a side effect we see with most things, and it's about managing that with sort of day-to-day living and taking that step back sometimes. Nausea can be one of the side effects, but there are many anti-sickness medications out there now, so we can sort of change them as needed. If one doesn't work, we can try another one.
A good diet can really help keep strength up during treatment. When people are going through chemotherapy, something like magnesium may fall in things, and magnesium is found in things like green leafy vegetables. They might be having difficulties with swallowing or eating enough. or want some advice, particularly when they're on chemotherapy, about food safety and what they can eat and what maybe they need to avoid eating while they're on chemotherapy. And we see if there's any gaps in particular. We look at energy, protein and vitamins and minerals. We have lots of nutritional supplements that we can suggest. We really try and work on food first, so we look at what people are currently able to manage. If they really can't manage food, then there's a whole wealth of nutritional supplements that we can suggest and work with people to implement in their diet.
Some people don't want to be too much of a bother, and I think one of the biggest things we can say is there's no such thing as a silly question. We'd much rather answer a silly question than you end up being poorly and in hospital.
We can offer a full benefits check to make sure that you're able to access all the support that's available. We also support the patients and their families to apply for benefits and grants. And it's quite amazing the range of grants that are available. We're a holistic service, so as well as money, we support patients with employment advice, making sure that they know what their rights are at work. We also support patients with accessing support for occupational therapy assessments so that they're able to stay independent in their own homes.
It's extremely humbling to be working with people and hearing their stories. It reminds you what's important in your own life and what's at the heart of being human.
When I was 15, my grandma was diagnosed with bowel cancer, and she saw a dietitian who helped her with her eating and drinking because she was struggling at that time. So that's how I got into dietetics, but the job role that she would have seen when she was struggling with her eating and drinking, now I get to do, so I get to help people like my grandma was helped at this hospital.
This job means a lot to everyone that works within the Primrose unit. Coming into contact with patients and their carers and family and friends it's lovely. You get to really understand what matters to them and you build up a relationship with them and often other people around them.
I love my job. I'm very humbled working here. Sometimes they take you on that little journey with them. They tell you their fears, what their ambitions might be, their worries, and you can't help but just feel humbled that they've chosen you to just basically include you in all of that.